Good evening, everyone, or as they say here in Russia, Dobry вечер. I'm sorry I can't be there with everybody tonight, especially you, Dad. Just would like to be there celebrating this award and recognition, but unfortunately it seems like a long way to fly just to come for one dinner. So we'll get together soon, and I guess this is the next best thing. I just wanted to take a second and show everybody where I'm located, some of the things that are going on here in Russia. It doesn't look like your traditional Russian facade, but actually it's part of the city that's about 2 miles west of the Kremlin, and there's a heck of a lot of construction going on here. We're located in the left-hand building. That's where the IBM offices are. It's called Moskva City. Not a very original name, but actually here in Russia the word city is a foreign word, and so it actually means more of like a business center. And just to point out, the building on the right that you see there is actually, once it's done, is going to be the largest building in Europe. So a lot of exciting things going on here in Moscow, and I'm sorry that you can't be here sharing them with me. I just wanted to take a second and say that I'm particularly excited to hear that you received this award, Dad. I know how much Winchester means to you, and you've worked long and hard to make it such a great place to live. So in Russia they would say Поздравляю тебя, which means congratulations. Being far away from Winchester makes it easy for me to recognize what a great place it is to live. In Russia we have a word for one's homeland called Rodina, which means more of like a birthplace and the family and the network of community all around you. And even though I'm halfway around the world, I'll know that Winchester is always Moya Rodina, the people and all the places and the people, the community that make it such a wonderful place to live. I know all the people there in the room tonight have been such a great part of my life, and I'd like to take this chance to thank all of you, especially my mother and my father, Nana B, Barbara Hess, Alan, Kathy Alexander, who I was a part of her plays in 5th and 6th grade, the Mulvaneys, the Albianis, and the Dulongs. And I'm sure there are many others that I'm not mentioning that are there tonight, but I just want to thank you all for making it such a great place to grow up. It's my father's commitment to the town and the network of good people around him that's one of the things that I'm most proud of him for. It's awe-inspiring and admittedly a little intimidating when everybody in the town knows your father and they expect you to grow up to be just like him, but it's also a good thing. I remember one day that Sam Rotundi pulled me aside and he wanted to tell me a story about how my father had taken the time as captain of the football team in high school to pick him out and give him a chance to really shine on the football team. And it really made a difference to Sam, I know, and hearing that story many years later really made a big difference to me, to know that the people around my father and the people that grew up with him respected him so much. It's clear that my father has worked hard with your support to create somewhat of a utopia. It's a beautiful town full of close friends, great schools, good health care, and all the things that my father has worked very hard towards all his life. So I'm sure many of you might be saying, well, Danny, if you love Winchester so much, how come you're off in Moscow? Well, I think we can pin that on one of my father's relatives as well. His grandfather, George Cummings, the person who my father gets his middle name from, was a great world traveler. And I remember my father used to read me bedtime stories of his adventures when he'd written his memoirs down, and my father used to read them to me at night as we were going to bed. George was, as I said, a world traveler, and during that part of the century, around the turn of the 19th century, going into the 1900s, he grew up in Haiti and was a pearl diver there. And then somehow, towards 1906, he ended up in San Francisco, where he had the good fortune of being part of the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. And I remember hearing the story from my father and thinking about the time, not really understanding the history maybe, but understanding perfectly the adventure and the chaos around it. My great-grandfather woke up in his hotel room or apartment to feel the room shaking, and then ran downstairs, and as he got out to the street, turned around to see the whole front of the building collapse behind him. For about the next week, he fought fires in San Francisco, and then he actually caught a fishing boat up to Alaska, and had many other adventures as well. I remember as a kid, I was particularly inspired by those stories. Somehow, the travel gene skipped a few generations and ended up with me. I remember George's memoirs went on to say, after about 30 typed pages, he summarized it all in one paragraph by saying, "I fell in love, got married, and had kids." In my father's case, his adventures and passions were more local in nature. Hopefully he will get a chance to write down his memoirs soon, once he gets some time. And they'll be filled with stories about growing up in Cambridge and Winchester, with 5 brothers and 1 sister, making friends with many of the people there in the room tonight, falling in love with his high school sweetheart, a wonderful woman we all know as Alan Macdonald, and building a great community for his family, and going on to be a well-respected member of the Boston and Winchester region. As for me, my father has always been an inspiration, no matter what year it was. As a teen, sometimes perhaps it was difficult to take on the responsibility that one gets when growing up underneath such a wonderful, inspiring man. But now that I've gotten to be a little bit older, it's been quite the exciting challenge, and I hope that I can live up to the task. Dad, I've like to say to you that I've learned a lot from you over the years. It's difficult to summarize in just a few minutes what my feelings are and how much I care for you and all the things that I've learned. But I guess I'd just like to really take the opportunity in front of all our friends and family to tell you how much you mean to me, how much I love you, how much I hope that we can spend many more years together growing and learning from each other. And I'm proud of you all the time, whether you get an award and you're Man of the Year or whether you're just my dad. I've really enjoyed our time together and all the things that I've learned from you. So, I guess just to wrap things up, I want to tell everybody that I miss them very much. I'm sorry I can't be there with you again tonight, but I'd like to just end with a traditional Russian toast. So if everybody could raise their glasses. So I'd like to say to Albie, a great father, husband, community member, a wonderful grandfather. Thank you for everything you've given to us over the years so selflessly. And in Russian we would say, "Желаю тебе успеха, здоровья и счастья," which means success, health, and happiness. I'll see you soon, and I wish you the best. Here's to Albie. Take care, everybody, and thanks a lot for listening. And Dad, again, congratulations. Поздравляю. До свидания.
С детства памятны напев.